So this is going to be pretty easy. We just need to hear the answers to everything and all of the secrets to the universe.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm really curious about? The future.
We're at a crossroads right now. On the one side, we have mechanized death, we have war, terrorism, we have eco-destruction, we have extinction of species, climate change, huge economic disparities, where 50% of the world lives on less than $2 a day. Very grim situation. On the other hand, the human species has evolved to a level of self-awareness. We have the ability to repair the biosphere and create free energy by going into what is called zero-point energy fields. We have the knowledge to resolve conflicts. The choice is ours. But there cannot be a social transformation in the absence of personal transformation. So peace can only be created by those who are peaceful. Love can only be shown by those who have loved.
What is God?
We're all God in different disguises. Just like there is one electricity for all contraptions, we all have the spark of the same consciousness. Rumi, the great Sufi poet, he said, "You're not just a drop in the ocean, you're also the mighty ocean in the drop." Who are you at the deepest level? You're a stardust being. You were born in stars. So think of it this way. When the Big Bang happened 14.8 billion years ago, there were no laws of physics, there was nothing of the sort. There was nothing. And yet, whatever there was organized itself into particles, antiparticles, and the little discrepancy between the particles and antiparticles ended up making the universe, and ultimately galaxies and stars. And the fusion in these galaxies and stars resulted in the elements of the periodic table. So the iron that's in your hemoglobin molecule right now and the carbon in your nose or in your hair may have come from two different galaxies. You are the conspiracy of the total universe in space-time right this moment. Now, of course, a lot of scientists say, oh, it's random. But there's another point of view, and that is that they seem random, but randomness could be another word for creativity. And, here we are having this conversation because of the confluence of events that seem so unlikely.
I always imagine that we're kind of destined to take over other parts of the universe, inhabit outer space and other planets. I think the resources will probably be one of the things that draws us there, and that the decline of our planet is probably going to be a big motivation for us to dive deeper into space and other worlds.
Yes, I think we'll have the technologies very soon. The thinking is that there are 10 to the power of 32 habitable planets in our own galaxy, at least. If they have a biosphere, great. If they don't, we'll be able to create a biosphere by seeding these planets with plant DNA, for example. And finally, and I say this with a little trepidation because people will, always pounce on me if I say something controversial, but I think it'll be possible to non-locally transport people. If you've seen Star Trek, Scotty presses a button and the captain disappears here, shows up there. It's called a quantum leap, which atoms take all the time. But I think the future technologies will allow us, you and me, to take quantum leaps across intergalactic space.
How do you think it's all going to go away?
Death is built into our biology. The universe is alive because of death. Fundamental particles are going on and off at lightning speeds. Before you even look at a particle, it's gone. It's born, it dies. The DNA, your genetic material, that DNA also recycles every 6 weeks, like migratory birds. Once we understand that, then we understand that death is very necessary for us to live.
What does the world look like in 100 years?
It depends on the choices we make. With climate change, we have the likelihood of rising sea levels, which would result in hundreds of millions of refugees, which would lead to violence, which would lead to epidemics and diseases, possibly even a cauldron of oceans where the water is so hot that species would boil to death. I mean, this is the most grisly, the most grim, the most hellish scenario that one could see, envision. And it's not even necessary to have an imagination to do this. The statistics tell us that we have to act right now. As I look at the history of tyrants and despots and crazy people all over the world, the only people they're afraid of is the artists. Because the artists serve as the voice of people. Artists are, in a way, the conscience of society. The artist can stir people at a very deep level, whether it's through music or through movies or through any kind of entertainment. I have two choices. One is just say, the heck with it, go to the bar and have a drink. The other choice is be the change I want to see in the world, hang out with people who want to be the change, and hope that we can create a critical mass. The world could be more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthy, and happy. We would have a world with no poverty, no violence. It would be heaven on earth for the first time, ever. So, are we going to do it? Are we going to actually save our planet and ourselves? Or are we going to let nature decide that the human species was an interesting experiment that did not work? Because, nature will go on, the planet will go on, the universe will go on. We may not be around.